What movie scared you to death as a child? The Never-Ending Story Part 1, where the G-Mork the wolf lunges at Atreyu. Not when the horse dies? Spoiler. In the book, the horse talks as it's happening. Pull harder. Are you fucking kidding me? Nope. Makes a great bedtime story. I lie. It most definitely did not make a great bedtime story. Oh fuck. I did not need to know that. The book is so good. ARTAXXX. That's super sad, but not scary. Rip Artax. He dies. Oh, thanks. Been watching this movie 15 seconds every weekend since it came out. Behind the scenes, everyone on set was crying. Amazing horse, too. It had to go against every instinct. It had to do the job. I had a handful of recurring nightmares from age 6 to my early teens. A few years later, I rewatched The Never-Ending Story and had a shocking realization that all of them stemmed from various scenes in that one movie. I had actual nightmares of G-Mork as a kid. Honestly, this moved, but for me it was the Sphinx Gate. For some reason that fucked me up, and I still properly remember the nightmare I had about them all those years ago. Recently met a 6-year-old named Atreyu. The nothing in the swamp of sadness were existentially horrifying in a way I wasn't prepared for. The only right answer, there's something about that movie that etched itself into 5-year-old me's mind, haha. I was terrified of the wolf when I was really little. I watched the movie a second time like a week later, and I was still afraid it'd eat him all. God, that movie scared the hell out of me. Time to face my fears. Just rented it and email watch it right now. Theme song is starting now. Open mouth smile. I used to imagine the wolf being in my closet at night, and it would make me tremble and fear tears of joy. Yes! Me too. That big-ass dog. Yes. This movie was terrifying. I was afraid of that wolf forever. Signs. That news clip with the half-second cameo of the alien walking by. What really got me was the scene where he looks out the window and sees the alien on the roof of the barn. That fuck me. Honestly, I still think of that scene when I look out the window. Even like 20 years later. It's so early in the movie, it's a genuine jump scare you don't see coming because it's so sudden. It's just weird and scary. The alien fingers being cut off in the kitchen. In the cinema, everybody absolutely freaked out like the characters did. Made it even more terrifying. Man, what an experience to see that in the theater. With that group reaction experience. I wish I had. Not sure how much later it was when I finally saw it on TV. It's behind. The scene looking under the door with the knife. That movie fucked me up for a little as a kid, lol. In my day, Fire in the Sky completely bulldozed a generation of us. Terrifying. The fucking cornfield shot where you only see an alien leg. Vamanos, children. Vamanos. I can never unsee the scary movie parody of that scene. Elmo sees alien walking in one direction. Let's see the footage again in reverse. Alien deadass walks in the opposite direction back which it originally came. Every time. Except it doesn't walk by. It's camouflaged in the alley the whole time and then it steps out from the bushes and walks away. It was genius to not show the aliens clearly until the end. The mystery made them that much more terrifying. Same. Also in the movie Communion when Christopher Walken looks down the hallway and a gray alien head pops out. F me. I feel like this scene traumatized an entire generation. I can picture it perfectly. Terrifying. Nah, in the basement when the kid is by the furnace or whatever and the aliens grab him. Also at the end with the alien in the living room. Vamano's children. My older brothers and I watched the movie in our family room with the lights out. When Mel Gibson's character goes to grab the knife and the alien hand comes under the door, my brother grabbed my leg to freak me out and I nearly shit myself. It probably didn't help that I used to be terrified of aliens and lived on a farm. There are 3 great scares in that movie emo. The leg in the cornfield, the news report, birthday party scene, and the claw under the door. Ultimately, the movie makes no real sense, but I still love it as long as I don't really think too much about the whole allergic to water and God, destiny aspects. What about when the alien hand grabs the little boy's face in the cellar? Oh, I forgot it was so bad. I saw the signs. And it opened up my eyes. Yeah, those aliens were so unnecessarily terrifying. No, they were perfectly terrifying. That's what saved the movie from being overly goofy. The alien walk-by scene scared me shitless. Same. I thought I was weird because I could watch movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street with no issues, but signs scared the shit out of me. Same. Dude, when you understand what swing away meant. LMAO, I knew someone was going to say signs. That clip of the children's birthday party with the alien walking by made me and my sister cry. When I saw that I about shit my pants lol. Yes! The birthday party news clip. The alien on the roof. The leg sticking out in the field. The knife under the door. The reflection on the TV. That movie freaked me out. Came in to say this remember that summer well. 2002, I believe. Move children. Vamonos! Watched this one as a kid. Swear it affected me for years. Tears of joy. There was a kid sitting on the floor in front of me. And when the jump scare scene of the alien scampering across the kitchen occurred, that kid literally fucking levitated in fear. He never moved an arm or leg, just went straight up in horror. I couldn't stop laughing at him. So when I was spending weekends with my dad, we'd often go to see a movie. He almost always fell asleep, tired from the week's work. That fucking alien cameo happened and little me straight up had a panic attack. The lovely woman beside us asked me if I was okay and woke my dad up. I agree that was so scary, still is. Can't believe this is the second highest comment because I thought it was just me. Signs was good until you see that CGI alien in the living room. Fire in the Sky, on the other hand, terrifying. The scary part of Signs is that you never really get a good look at the aliens. Yes, definitely the build-up had my expectations raised. Especially when they used a live-action hand under the pantry door. The Witches, Roald Dahl adaptation with Angelica Houston. It was creepy as hell. Oh, the painting with the little girl. That was horrifying. I still think of that scene way more often than I should. That movie terrified me for so long, but I had no idea what it was called. I finally Googled it in 2020, which was crazy because that's when the new version came out. I've tried to read this book to each of my girls and they can't get past the witch trapping the girl in the painting in the first chapter. And I'm secretly glad because it scared the heck out of me too. It's the scariest portrayal of witches in any medium. Most Roald Dahl stories have some quite graphic content compared to other kids' books. I read the book as a kid and it creeped me out BC. It was so convincing. Then I watched the movie and was freaked out at even worse. Yeah, the image of them taking off their human masks had me shook. Christ, this one gave me nightmares as an adult. The Exorcist, and to this day I won't watch it by myself. Beyond creepy. I can't even watch it anymore. I used to be into scary movies, but I ended up having lots of nightmares. So I avoid scary movies now. I'm in my 30s and still can watch this by myself. Don't think I'll ever be able to. You mean the movie about the girl who was definitely behind the shower curtain every time I had to shower? My sister saw it when she was 11. She was legit traumatized for like a year. I watched The Exorcist 3 the other day with George C. Scott. It wasn't scary, but my God. Near the end when the priest is having his battle and the demon pins him against the ceiling and as he tries to pull away his skull starts peeling. Yikes. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, quite honestly. When she shoots the hugest load of projectile split pea soup barf all over the priest's face and he wipes it off freaked me out. Don't even get me started with the crucifix stabbing into the nether regions. I was scarred for a while after that. Nightmare fuel for years. Usually I wake up before it goes too far now. Saw that movie way too young. I have nightmares still. Even when I close my eyes. Loudly crying. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade when it came out. I'm now newly 64, and I've yet to see it completely through. I just can't. Christine scared me as an adult as well. Try watching that, then driving home from a friend's house way out in the country. Amityville Horror kept me up for 3 nights after I saw it. Which is funny because while I found it scary in real time, I didn't find it terrifying. Nope. Didn't even raise an eyebrow with me. I got all hyped up for it because of the lore around it, but was actually bored when watching it. Amazes me that people say they can't watch it as adults. Same. Whole movie is eerie. In that sense, I'd say it's a horror masterpiece. The head spinning, the peeing on the floor, the fuck me scene with the cross. I'm never watching that shit again. My friend and I saw it without knowing the storyline. We walked home in the dark afterwards. Her house was first and I had to walk past the huge darkened school on the corner. Normally I would take a shortcut through the schoolyard, but that night I walked along the street with every street light even though it took an extra 10 minutes and I was speed walking. I watched this when I was way too young by sneaking out from my room to watch what my parents were watching in TV while keeping quiet so they wouldn't discover me. Big regret. I couldn't sleep for a week, not to mention I got grounded because they caught me when I reacted to the girl's face. Saw it for the first time as an adult. I didn't see what all the fuss was about. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Musical notes. Oompa Loompa. Doompity-doo. We have another nightmare for you. Musical notes. On the boat in the tunnel. Musical note: there's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going, or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? Musical note: the tiny moment of the chicken getting its head chopped off haunts my nightmares. Internally screaming, the blueberry girl. I had nightmares about turning into a blueberry after my mom took me to see it. Me too. I was 8 years old and was taken to a drive-in theater to see the original orange and white Oompa Loompas on the big screen. For years, when I closed my eyes, there they were. Oh yeah, I never liked it. I never found it charming. It's extremely creepy. I always had to step out of the room when Violet blueberrified lol. My last day of kindergarten, they had all the kids in the gym and put this on for the whole school. I consequently hate this movie with a passion to this day. Of all the things kids stuck in a pipe was the one that got me the worst. Unlike what seems like a lot of people, I never grew up to appreciate this movie because it just comes across like it's justifying torturing children because they had shitty parents who raised them to be brats. I loved scary movies and felt I was afraid of nothing, except for this nightmare. I would hide when it came on TV. The scene where Augustus got jammed up in the old chocolate pressurized outflow apparatus freaked me out pretty good. The 2005 movie by that name? Or the original, which is called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? For me, it was the one with Johnny Depp. Pet Sematary, specifically that whole scene with the sister Zelda. I was little when my older sisters made me watch it, and it fucked me up for a very long time after that. That scalpel to the Achilles tendon made me sweat for years. Me too. That scene effed the little me up for a while. It's been on my list of irrational fears since. Rachel. For me, it was when the little boy ran to street, then got hit by the goddamn semi-truck. To this day, I still check like 12 times before crossing the street. Same. The sister absolutely fucked my shit up, and I had to have my little brother sleep in the same bed with me for weeks LMAO. That scene rocked me harder than anything else I've seen in cinema. Super tame as an adult. But as a child, your imagination goes to insane places. I'm named after that movie lol. My dog died days after we saw that movie. I was freaked out till my mom explained cremation to me. That is what we did with our dog. I had just got a gray cat. I also live out in the country with my own pet graveyard. Mom is also from Appalachia, so when we would visit, it made me feel trapped. I was 8. I think that's some of my deep-rooted childhood trauma. Cold sweat smile. OMG, same here. I was traumatized by Zelda for years. The exact same movie and scene for me. An extended family member had my twin sister, and I watched it when we were way too young. Completely inappropriate. Even worse, one of our childhood best friends died of meningitis just a few months previously. I legit thought that was how my best friend died because I was too young to know any better. I was traumatized and had recurring nightmares. I have not watched it since then and absolutely refused to. I saw up to that part and no pet out avoided it ever since. I read that book too young and it fucked me up. Yes, that scene with Zelda stayed with me for a long time. I'm coming for you, Rachel, and this time, I'll get you. Gremlins. I was like 5 and I had nightmares about somebody grabbing our cat and putting it in a microwave like they did one of the gremlins in the movie. When I watched it as an adult, it was a hilarious movie. But I still remember having nightmares when I was little. Also Secret of NIHM, but I saw that at a babysitter's when I was maybe 2 and just knew it was a scary movie. Yeah, this one and Temple of Doom are why they started the PG-13 rating. I was certainly surprised by this movie when I was a kid. And then there was the second, which leaned so far into comedy that I can't imagine anybody being scared by it. Came here to say Gremlins. Secret of NIHM is no fucking joke, dude. Between that, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Land Before Time, one could conclude Don Bluth's main motivation was traumatizing children. Don Bluth said his philosophy for children's storytelling was that children could handle everything adults could, but they needed a happy ending. They need the emotional catharsis and reassurance that everything will be okay in the end. Tragedy is for adults only, but don't talk down to kids. Which really kind of makes sense when you think about it. IS-2 grams. I hallucinated both movies. That shit was terrifying. It's been at least 20 years since I've seen either one, but there are certain scenes I remember so vividly. Especially from the second one. What are the little things in Gremlins called? The cute fuzzy thing? Mogwai. Watching it as an adult, so many people in that town died and nobody cared. Secret of NIHM still gives me the heebies as an adult. Lovely as it is at its core. That part of Gremlins where she talks about how her dad died was scarring to me as a child lol. The Grudge, American remake. Especially that scene of Kayako on the stairs. That death rattle gave me nightmares. Yes, I watched it with my mom when I was 10 after we moved to a new house, and we were the only two home. The walls were so thin and, of course, during the stairs scene her open windows slammed her bedroom door shut, which was right by the staircase too. My mom almost left me to fend for myself, and looking back, shit, I don't blame her anymore, lol. Holy shit, yes! I first watched the Japanese version. I tell you what, it gives me nightmare for a whole week. And I still can't watch it to this day. Her bones breaking gives me the creep for life, lol. I had a friend who wanted to show me the movie, but she said the calm moments were boring and would fast forward past them. So what I got was a compilation of the scariest moments in the movie with no calm in between. I have such a horrible fear of this movie. I can't even see the poster without having a visceral reaction. I hate when Halloween rolls around because I have to be so careful scrolling through the movie choices on all the streaming sites. There's no escape. You step in that house, you're dead. One of my all-time favorite movies. I love horror, and it's one of the only to have left memories. This scared the hell out of me. A girl in front of me in the theater fully screamed during the attic scene, which made me on edge for the entire rest of the movie. I didn't sleep under the covers in my bed for months. To this day, I cannot watch this movie. I rewatched this recently and it was creepy as hell, although the ending had me laughing my ass off. When the head is in the doorway and comes down, OMG, I was laughing so damn hard. Nightmare on Elm Street. This is also a good question to find out how old the commenter is. Not in my case. Saw it as a child on DVD. I had it on DVD as a kid as well. I love those old movies. I saw the first one recorded off the TV by my mom at 10, then got the collection on DVD a year or two later. Yes, it didn't scare me until I had a dream about Freddy Krueger and I said, all I have to do is wake up. And he said, I will still be there after you wake up. It scared me so much that I refused to watch it again. I had to scroll too far to get to this. My buddy slept over one night and Mom let us rent it when we were in 5th grade. One fell asleep, but my friend kept waking me up because he was terrified. Phone rang right after he did the tongue phone thing. Nobody wanted to answer the phone. Yeah, the bit with the girl on the ceiling stuck in my head for a long time. Haven't watched it since. I don't know which one it was, but the scene of the body bag being dragged through the school freaked me out. I refuse to look into the doorways of schools when I drive by them. Oh, and I'm a teacher. I hate being at school late. Open house night sucks. In kindergarten, we were supposed to watch a cartoon about going to the dentist. I am assuming it was a fun kid-friendly movie. They sent our class the wrong film. This was the 80s, so it was a film projector. Our teacher started the film and then stepped out for a few seconds. It was a movie on dental surgery. 30 horrified kindergartners watched a very bloody and graphic tooth extraction movie. When the teacher came back, she quickly stopped the film, but it was too late. We were already traumatized. Not sure if it's related, but last month when I went to the dentist, I accidentally threw up on the dental hygienist. We watched a movie in 7th grade science class about smoking and lung disease. It showed part of an autopsy when the cut of the chest was made to remove a lung. I wasn't terrified by that, but when one of my classmates passed out and fell to the floor backwards, it was horrifying. The whole class and the teacher all laughed at him. I worried that he might be injured or even dead. That left me with a distaste for that teacher and my classmates. The teacher died several years ago, and when I heard about his death, all I could think of was the day he laughed at a student and what an awful person he was. Secret of NIMH, some of those rats were no joke. Fern Gully was also really scary at parts. And The Brave Little Toaster. And Nemo. Adventures in Slumberland. I had to scroll down way too far to find this. No kidding. I wouldn't go in our bathroom alone for like a week after I saw the scene with Beverly. Watership Down. A true horror movie for children. Yep, I loved it, but it also really freaked me out. Only movie that really disturbed me. Word, I was not ready for that style of animated story. I had no idea at the time that animation like that was anything other than a silly cartoon. Yes, I got up before all my family after we borrowed it from the library. Oh, I was so traumatized. My sisters are currently watching it, lol. Jaws. Yes, that's mine too. I still remember my mom showing this to me when I was very young. It was in our first house, so I was less than 5. I don't remember being bothered by it at all. I just have vague memories of the music and a shark with its mouth open coming out of the water. I haven't watched it since. I saw it in the movie theater when I was 5 or 6. Scary as hell. Done up. Shark. My gateway to horror because my family didn't consider it to be actual horror. We had a family friend who would jump up behind me during the big scares during a couple watches. He went on to work for the DEA. Scary stuff. Haven't been in the ocean since. I'm pretty old, but the birds. Scrolled way too far to find this. I'm in my late 20s and my parents watched it on TV with me when I was 7. I was afraid of pigeons for a month and still don't like birds in general. They sitting all still and quiet on an overhead wire, I get a little shiver. Like that was over 25 years ago and I'm still giving them side eye. Great answer, up finger. Had to dig for this. Def TBS mistake on my teenage part. Doe. That was scary as fuck, especially when the kids are attacked. I still think about this movie. I actually think I only saw the birds too. Scared me a lot. Watched Cujo with my dad at like 5. Shit gave me a fear of dogs. The book was effing scary too. That was a really scary movie. I'm not afraid of dogs, but this is the movie I have such traumatic memories of I can't bring myself to watch as an adult. But now that I think about it, while working at a kennel we had a St. Bernard named Cooper that reminds me of Cujo. Glad I didn't think of it at the time. I've been afraid of small dogs ever since I saw it. Another Cujo person. That movie scared the bejesus out of me. Also, Children of the Corn, Event Horizon. I was about 12 and my mom thought it would be on the same level as Aliens horror-wise. It was not. Sam Neill is terrifying without eyes. I saw this way too young. Luckily, it didn't bother me at all. I really only remembered the scene with the guy hanging from wires with his guts on the table. Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down scared me far worse. I was probably 9 or 10 years old. My asshole cousins put it on and scampered. Turns out they tried to watch it, got scared and ran. So they tried to scare me. When Mom realized what the movie was, she tried to kick me out of the room. I refused and she was pissed. I liked it. That's when she tested me with Nightmare on Elm Street. I loved it, so I was allowed to watch any movie I wanted after that. 12. I was in my late 20s and that gave me nightmares.